So this is my explanation on why the new set is utterly broken. Not like broken in a way that it is the best set ever, but it's quite strong. So, and most people overlook it. So they think the power level is much lower than from like the Great Dark Beyond and things like that. But if you look like the meta snapshot, that there is like all the board centric decks and the Imbue Paladin and things like that. I show you the meta snapshot. Imbue Paladin is like the second best deck, but the problem with Imbue Paladin that it loses to maybe a greedier control deck or something like that, or with Kill Jaden, or is it is like if it can survive, and most of the decks can survive against all of these A tier decks. So if you look at the meta and meta wise, just look at it. The new decks, what new decks can emerge? Uh, and this is the second deck, second point, that the meta is, you know, is like good for these cards. In Rogue, this Rogue can beat Paladin with the ninjas and even the Underbird Tracker, because it's like 0 mana, 5/5 with Rush, because you shuffle that many cards into your deck, and you just don't shuffle ninjas, but anything else as well. So like you can shuffle asteroids or things like that. So in the long run, it has a shot against the best decks, even board-centric decks, because you have so much tempo. If you look at Warrior with Enter the Lost City in standard, I mean, it is a possibility that and even it got like a board clear in Shellnado. It so even in standard, it has like a shot. Not a great shot, but a shot at being a control deck that outvalues with Kill Jaden, for example, like it outvalues all the decks that are mentioned in A tier, even in B tier. Priest, Priest itself with Reach Equilibrium. You play this card, and if you complete it, like your opponent has no chance because there is no mass silence in standard. And then you play your Umbra, and the opponent is dead. That's about it. Death Knight, Death Knight is interesting. Again, it I think there is like a control archetype with High Cultist Heron, and like it got the Pharaoh for like more. They are trying to push like triple Frost, so maybe Pterodox is for that deck, but actually the legendary itself and the quest itself is weak, but the legendary itself is like pretty good. So maybe I can see Death Knight as well. So Paladin is like utterly broken. Every board sending deck, and even it will be a problem. So this Paladin will be an A tier card. It will break Hearthstone, and uh, to a huge extent it is because of the Golok adepts. Hunter got value cards, which are interesting because it's at the same time an aggro archetype, what it supports with the one cost wings and even with the food chain, but they can get oversteadied with like a supreme dynamancy, so it fights for board and beats like any attempt of control in the long run, especially with the story of Karnasa. Story of Kanasa is actually a value card, and I see like hunters that can go like for a long time, not just aggressive hunter, but maybe a mid-range hunter is like a possibility now. With the story of Karnasa seeing play, most people sleep on this card as well. If you think about it, it's cheap and it's like 10 raptors, so I can see it. Most people can't, but I can. Warlock. Warlock is like, again, Warlock is like in a position with infinite value, so control can't beat it. And if it can survive aggro, this is like a meta tyrant as well. Uh, okay, the story of Lakari, for example, is like many people sleep on it, but it's like a constant effect for 3 turns. So it's basically 3 board clears from a control deck, and I think it's a good card in standard. So I'm speaking about standard now, because most people play standard, and most people come here for that. So to see the power level of the expansion, and all the neutrals, if you look at them, like they synergize with everything, like Murlocs, uh, uh, like this big guy in like a big shaman with the what is it called, with the wild card. It can play this like a big shaman can emerge as well, which is like a wild tier 1 tier 2 deck. Osho is like another example. Osho I think is like pretty good of a card. Even though it's 6, it's so much tempo that it, in the long run, in a mid-range deck can run it. So that's about him. Combo decks, Dissolving Ooze, I think something will emerge. Blob of Tar is not a bad card as neutral. Alice the Navigator. Again, I said even in Wild, she's broken. And in Standard, well, where you have much more time, in control decks, it's like tier S. Umbra, all sorts of combos in Wild as well, but in Standard, and even in Standard, it has like combo potential. So I wouldn't write that off. Okay, the questing assistant is like is like pretty good, because even if you completed your quest, he can work. So I think he's alright. Demon Hunter, I think the quest and the build around cards are pretty good. Hive Mind, for example, is pretty good. Okay, it has Thorn, so it is a bad card actually, but not that bad. If you play it with like Ysera, and you can just get one cost minion out of it, like the turn you play it. It's like in degenerate combos, it can work. So you play this for 9, um, and you put a jar down, and you somehow destroy the jar, which I don't know how, but it's like, let's say you play 11 mana for this, but you play a 7/7, so that's why most people sleep on cards like this, because they don't see that it is a value bomb. They see it's a value bomb, but they see it as way too slow. So you pay 11 mana because of Ysera in a control deck, and then you get some crazy battle cry, which can be like an omen, for example, a 1 mana omen. Who doesn't want a 1 mana omen? So I think like even if you play like 12 mana for this combo, even then you have like 7/5 because of the 2 AoE to everything. It's like a free 7/7 that keeps on giving. So next turn, your jars are still in your hand. So people sleep on this card and say it's bad, but it has like combo potential, value potential. So I don't think it's that bad. Druid, like, okay, Druid is like the outlining. So like, okay, you can have like bad decks, because board centric wise, every control deck beats them. But I think like Druid has the saving grace of Loa the Living Legend, if you think about it. It's like a battle cry, your minions cost 5 this game. So with like all of the giants, he's great, all everything. So it's like, and it's a battle cry. It's like an aura. Yeah, because like Sea Witch had the problem of, if you remove the board once, the Sea Witch is dead. your giants are dead. But then Loa is like an ongoing effect, so it's like utterly broken, even in wild, I think. Because the Druid can ramp there, and that's about it. But in Wild, I don't think he will see much play, because like Druid has like Mecha Cartoon or cheesy combo decks most of the time. But maybe there will be an archetype, like a low archetype. Shaman, Shaman I think is pretty good even with Shadow Block, because you can play the Shadow Block and you can get the 6. It's like you play a Galvadon but many times over. And in standard it's like chef's kiss. It's like it's what I'm saying, it's broken as hell. The Titan, many people sleep in it, but the Titan itself is like a pretty good card, because you just have to wait for it, and you can play anything else with it, because you will have like 15 mana, or because you play it in a control deck. And the things like Story of the Waygate, the Forbidden Sequence, and all the cards like Scrappy Scavenger, all of them seem like really good. So uh, so to be exact, legendaries. Okay, so what I've wrote down: quests are utterly broken. Even with tech, the value is there, because you get like uses out of your weapon the turn you play it, or the uses out of your quest when you play it. And most of the legendaries are really good, like even the weaker ones that most people sleep on, like the Demon Hunter legendary, can be used. I won't say it's will be meta defining, but it is like huge value, and at some point, because of Ysera, it has potential. Most people don't see the connection between Ysera and him, but the connection is there. I can guarantee you, and it's a 3/7/7 that gives like anything like. And it gives like death rattle minions. If you play it with death rattle minions, I said it incorrectly. Sorry, it's a battle. I said battle cry minions, but it's like death rattle minions. Uh, you just play the death rattle minion, like all of them, and in one turn you can play like 3 or 4. Next turn you can break like 2 more, and then bank on the death rattles. Because of Ysera, it has like potential. Uh, and I've talked about the meta, as there is the meta screenshot as well. Like, if you look at them, they are either board centric or controlly, so it has like these aspects. Uh, but uh, but control can lose to most of the decks that are here, because of like uh, I said control, yeah. So I said control can lose to these decks because they outvalue them, and it will, even though maybe they won't outvalue all of them, like Imbue Paladin, but Kill Jaden, it will be an endless Kill Jaden fight between you and the opponent. And about the aggro decks like Pen Demon Hunter or Fishing Priest or Hog Demon, or like a Death Rattle deck, Hog Demon Hunter, Menagerie Death Knight, Buff Hunter. So these aggro decks, aggro-ish or mid-range-ish decks, can be outvalued by the quests. So that's about it, guys. Thanks for watching. Have a nice day. Bye bye.